Hey Taurus, welcome to April 2020. I already pulled your cards for you, so we'll just dive in. I got the Two of Coins. I got the Eight of Swords in reverse. I got the Chariot. I got the Eight of Wands. I got the Queen of Coins in reverse. I got the Ace of Wands. I got the Three of Swords in reverse. I got the Six of Wands in reverse. And I got the Three of Wands in reverse. So where I wanted to start was with this clear, to me, energy of the Chariot and the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Swords in reverse. And also, talking about the Three of Swords in reverse. So I feel like for you, and this is kind of part of what's going on collectively, but I think that this Pisces Mercury retrograde shit and the coronavirus, mass hysteria, panic, it's kind of collectively put us on a little bit of a pause and a sense of reflection of where we're really being asked to look at our life, look at our choices, look at what's meaningful to us. And for you, I feel like with the Three of Swords in reverse, it's I think you've really been dealing with your own sense of heartbreak, and this might even be past trauma, or just really old ass shit that was kind of impacting you. So this could be, for example, in love relationships, sometimes we start out with an anxious attachment style, and then that leads us to an abusive bad relationship where then we become avoidant. And I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening to you, but with the Three of Swords in reverse, I just feel and with the Eight of Swords in reverse, I'll talk about these together, actually. I feel like there's just a sense of you kind of getting really clear with yourself about where you've maybe been living in old pain. Not on purpose, but just because it hadn't been cleared, or it hadn't been fully healed, or you had just been going in there was such momentum in that direction that you were kind of caught in the undercurrents of this pain and this stuckness. But with this in reverse, it just feels like this being released. It feels like you kind of were able to get to the bottom of something in this, again, the Pisces Mercury retrograde period, and with this, with everyone canceling all these events, and it's been kind of a moment for everyone to really have to go inward and face some of their fears. And so I don't think this has been any different for you, but I think what is coming up for me in your reading is that this is sort of just a release and kind of maybe finally getting to the end of that old pattern. Because we got the Chariot and the Eight of Wands. And so what I wanted to say to you about this is I don't necessarily take this energy to mean that you're moving in a completely bizarrely new direction, because we don't have the Wheel of Fortune present. And so I feel it's whatever you're moving forward in, it's not a huge pivot per se. It's not you were getting your law degree and you drop out to go live on a farm. I don't think it's that drastic. But I do think there's a clarifying on what's important to you, and almost kind of a paring down. So maybe if you, let's say it was your law degree. I don't know why. That's what I doubt lawyers even listen to tarot videos. So it's so silly that that's the example I'm using. This is let's say you were in culinary school. Still a silly example, but let's say you're in culinary school and you were trying to become an expert in all these different cuisines. And actually, that's a good example for you, Taurus, because you like food, because you're a Taurus. Okay. Let's say that you were trying to become an expert at tacos and spaghetti and falafels and ice cream and like, you were, like, that's just what I mean, like, and, like, maybe you're like, oh, you know what, I don't have to be amazing at everything, I just have to pick what I truly love, and, like, maybe what I really love is tacos. So you become, that's what I mean with this forward movement. It's not like you are giving up everything, it's just that you maybe have a clearer focus, and, kind of something more specific, and that is giving you more energy to fuel into whatever your endeavor is. Because we got this Ace of Wands, and we got the Two of Coins. So this, to me, feels like a sense of, like, restoring some balance to your life. Maybe you were, like, trying to do too much. Again, I just really got the sense of doing too much. And to bring it back to this, it's like maybe you were doing too much out of, like, a wounded part of yourself that was, like, trying to get validation, or trying to prove that you can do it all, or trying to prove that I don't know what this pain energy was specifically for you, but whatever wounds are being healed, I think you're kind of, like, letting go of what was inessential that was keeping you stuck. The stuckness and the pain that you were feeling might have been because of some old conditioning, and then when you got to the bottom of it, you were like, oh, I see what really lights me up. I see what really, like, is my shit. I see what I'm meant to do here. You're probably not in culinary school, so it's probably not that. If we were talking about love, and I remember, like I said, the thing about, like, having an anxious attachment style and moving into an avoidant attachment style, maybe with this kind of energy, you're seeing the light on that, and you're like, okay, I don't really want to be avoidant anymore, but I have a really good relationship with myself now. My mind and my heart are in balance, so, like, I can trust my logic, and I can trust my heart, and I can trust myself, and my self-trust is making it easier for me maybe to, like, for example, put myself out there again and, like, go on dates. That's what this energy is to me. It's like something has been illuminated. You've gotten clear on something, and in getting clear, you've let go of stuckness and pain and heartbreak that was, like, kind of haunting you for a long time. You're getting yourself into balance, and then that is allowing you to take the reins on your life and kind of move in the direction that you probably always wanted to go in, but, like, just had that self-doubt, or that, like, kind of holding back, or that, you know, whatever. I do feel, okay, so then we'll move into this now. We got the Three of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Coins. I do think that there is still some self-doubt in spite of the fact that you are essentially moving forward in some capacity. With the Three of Wands, to bring it back to that silly taco example, maybe you're like, oh man, like, coronavirus, sorry. It is what it is. Man, all that, like, coronavirus, like, hysteria made me realize that I love making tacos the most, and, like, if I could only have a day of my life left to make one dish, it would be that. So that's what I want to do. And that's you getting that clarity, and that's you really, like, again, taking the reins and moving forward and kind of finding some balance. But with the Three of Wands in reverse, I think as you move forward on kind of letting some stuff go in order, it's kind of like you were carrying too much baggage here. Or if you were flying, right? It's like you were carrying too much baggage, and so you had to, like, leave a bag behind. And so now you can, like, really travel more easily because you sized down from, like, 5 suitcases to a backpack, and so it's, like, so much easier to get around. But I think with the Three of Wands in reverse, you're kind of like, maybe just like, oh, did I leave something important behind? Because if you've been carrying this for so long, and this kind of became a part of your identity, and it was, like, kind of leading you with this its own momentum, when you finally let it go, I think there's just a sense of, like, having to adjust and not being totally sure that you chose the right path. to me, the Three of Wands in reverse is just doubt that, like, it's not that you aren't already moving in the new direction, because the Three of Wands is kind of about new directions. So to me, it's not that you're not doing it, it's just that you're kind of like, maybe having a bit of a pause and accepting all that you've let go, because it was just such a part of your life. The Queen of Coins in reverse, I mean, coins are you, pentacles, earth energy, and the Queen, I mean, this is you. So it's not that you aren't the Queen, that you aren't, like, totally, the manifester of your own reality and your own destiny, but with it in reverse, again, I just feel like, and the Six of Wands, maybe it's for you, like, a sense of, like, it's too soon to celebrate, because it's, like, really positive what's happening. This is all super positive. Okay, so, like, let's bring it back to, it's, like, because this is all just energy, so it can play out in any infinite number of ways, to be honest. It can be love, it can be career, it can be family. It's psychological growth is what we're talking about here. So all these examples are just to kind of give it a framework, but, like, let's just say it's love. And with, like, this energy, you're putting yourself out there, you're going on dates because you want to become more emotionally available, let go of this pain and stuckness and, like, that avoidance. The Three of Wands in reverse might mean that you're easing yourself into it still, that you aren't completely over some of the past shit, or if it's the silly example of, like, culinary school and you creating a deeper focus for yourself, and then you're like, oh, maybe I still do want to make spaghetti, or you're like, oh, maybe when I'm on dates, maybe am I settling? Like, maybe not trusting. I mean, I think you do have a lot more trust for yourself with the Two of Coins, like this balance and the mind-heart kind of alignment that I talked about. But I just think with this energy here, it's like maybe meeting someone new who's great, who can be, like, your life partner, but you're like, they don't seem like what I thought they were going to be, so I don't really trust this new direction completely, and I don't want to celebrate, and I don't want to, like, tell people I met the love of my life, even if I maybe did, because this is all new to me. I'm not really accustomed to being in alignment with myself. It's kind of like when we're healthy, when we start entering healthy relationships, when we're in a healthier relationship with ourselves, it just feels foreign. That's what I'm talking about here. There's, like, just, like, kind of a foreignness that that's all positive and good, but that you might just be, like, not sure how to make sense of it, or not sure what it all means, and I don't think there is any pressure to have those answers, but especially since it might be kind of happening quickly too, right? It might be like you go on a date where you have one of those nights where you talk all night, and so then you're like, oh, I think this could be really great, but I don't want to celebrate too soon. I don't want to, like, get my hopes up. Or maybe you're making, like, you're paring down and focusing, and so you're, like, really building, and someone's like, hey, do you want to open your own restaurant? And you're like, yeah, but what? Like, really? Is this really happening? Is this really my new direction? Is this really where so I think that's what it is to me. It's like something positive and new is coming in that is really more true to you, but there's just like, like what? Because this is what your status quo was that you let go of, and so there's just maybe still part of you that's, like, really continuing to oscillate into that balance, just with this in reverse, so that you can be like, oh, I'm the Queen of Coins, I know what I want, I'm getting it, and I'm manifesting it, and I deserve it, I'm more than deserving of it, you know what I mean? Because you are. So that's my reading for you, Taurus. I love you, and I will see you again in May. Alright, bye!